right, cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom. I am the Rock God of Podcasting, Charles McFall. My show partner,
Joseph_Ard.
And our special guest today is Josh Cooper of Uploads of Fun, who does a very family-friendly show. And so we're going to try to match that energy and not take you into the gutter too much. So
I'll do my best.
Here's how this show works. We're all fathers. We're all nerds. We love talking about all of it. We have a microphone there. There's no real questions. There is audience participation. We have these dice. We have 6 segments. You determine which segment we go into next. Do not roll a 6 because that's bad dad jokes, and I hate the bad dad jokes.
So roll only 6s.
We only do it one show. There's only one time a 6 comes up. But you will have your opportunity to share your bad dad jokes, so go ahead and start queuing them up. Also, the section we have is what are you nerding out about, which is something you're loving and enjoying right now, so you're welcome to tell those stories. We have other segments coming up, and you'll follow along. So if you have a story you want to jump in, that's where the microphone is. All right, who would like to roll first? Oh, great catch, bro. Awesome.
That's why we don't.
All right, now, if you hit us, you get extra points. So we don't actually give out points, but go ahead, try to hit somebody. Throw it all the way back here. See, that's how you don't dodge right there. You got it. What is it, Valencia?
A 6.
Oh, come on.
Starting off strong.
Why? All right. Who's got some? Oh, you leaned in. You got some bad dad jokes?
Oh my god.
I know Joe's got them.
Why don't dragons like fast food?
Why?
Because it's hard to catch.
Oh.
That's just a dumb dad joke.
I didn't say it was a good dad joke.
That's why there is no such thing. There is no such thing as a good dad joke. Does anybody else have a joke? They step up to the microphone so that people at home can hear you. And the people at home, if you have a bad dad joke, now's the time to type it in and they'll read it for us.
So this one actually comes from my mom. Anytime we would ask her, hey, can you make me a drink? She would go, poof.
Your drink, yeah. Yeah. That's just torturous parenting right there.
So Charles.
Nope. What?
Why?
Nope.
Why do dragons really love working in IT?
Firewire?
They're great with firewalls.
Are they though?
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to stop them? Isn't that no?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. All right, cool. Who wants to roll next? All right. Yeah, it's so painful, right? All right. Okay, here we go.
What do we got? I can't see it.
4.
Which is the Parliament of Papas.
Parliament of Papas.
So we are gonna.
What is the Parliament, Joe? What do we do?
Yeah, we're gonna read a Reddit story, and we get to decide whether or not this person is the buttface, so to speak. So, am I the buttface for going to Comic-Con against the wishes of my wife after she went to Disneyland and didn't invite me?
So let's get some context on that one. That sounds divorceable right there.
All right, here goes. This happened about 2 weeks ago. First of all, I'm pretty much your typical hyped Star Wars and Marvel Universe fan. I watch all the movies. I own a bunch of merch, all that stuff. All right. So imagine his excitement when my wife said that she wanted to take her son to Disney World. So he's hyped for Disney World. There's a lot of great stuff that goes with Marvel and with Star Wars there. He immediately started shaking and laughing because he's always wanted to go. However, when I asked her, so when are we going to go? I need to check to see if it's okay with work. She looked at me kind of seriously and said, what do you mean? I was confused and didn't know what to say. So there was a bit of an awkward silence until she broke it by saying, oh, you wanted to come too? I felt like being punched in the stomach, and there was another awkward silence. She explained that she used all of our miles for them and her ex.
Whoa. What? Did you say her ex?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
And there wasn't enough left for me. Plus, she said something like, aren't you getting too old to be interested in these things anyway? It felt like there was a piece stuck in my throat, and I thought I would say something I would regret. So I just grabbed my Switch and stormed out and spent the evening in the park.
Those boomers and their
I
Switches.
really wish I knew how old these people were. But
Well, starting out with a Switch, you can kind of go millennial
and
video kind of thing.
they have a kid. They didn't say the age of the kid either. So after returning home, he apologized the next day, and she understood. We first had a more mature talk where I offered to pay for my own flight and hotel room. However, she said that we can't really afford it right now. She suggested we
Okay.
go to Arby's instead when they get back.
Okay. I don't even think you need to read the rest of this, Joe. This is an
the worst
easy.
thing I've ever heard.
Okay, Josh, what's your
I feel
your
so bad for this guy.
Oh,
He
man.
sounds like the child in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's
Yeah.
telling him we don't have money. Isn't I mean,
Oh,
this is a tragedy. What? How
he's
did you
just getting
find this?
steamrolled. Reddit.
Wow.
Hey,
course.
Joe
Keep
found
on
it
Reddit
under
more.
Joe found it under r/how do I get a divorce? I mean,
So-
okay, go ahead, Joe.
So, but then at the end of the story, basically, he threatens to go to Comic-Con if she goes through this trip without him, and she's like, "No, you can't go to Comic-Con. It's too expensive." And so they went on the trip, and he went to Comic-Con and had a blast.
Does it say there's there is nothing good about how she planned this, but can we tell if the Disney thing's an overnight trip?
It doesn't say how long her trip was, but I don't imagine it being an overnight.
And her ex is going?
And her
So-
ex is going.
This is over.
Yeah, well, and
This is over.
it doesn't specify, but it would change the story a little bit if their kid isn't their kid together and it's his stepkid. It doesn't specify that though.
Okay, but that
That would change
Mm.
it slightly.
only
slightly. Only slightly.
No,
It would just add more words to the story, but it wouldn't change it.
no. It's like adding the first 3 Star Wars. It did not change anything or add. Okay, it's okay. If it's a co-parenting thing, who anybody in this room been divorced? Anybody co-parent? Anybody? Okay, we got some co-parents. Would you go to Disneyland with your ex and the kid and leave your current spouse at home? Absolutely not. You don't take our miles to pay for that
But they don't have enough money, Charles.
because she's spending it on the ex, man.
But
Because miles do
Yeah.
not get you food in Disneyland.
but she said they could go to Arby's afterwards.
And then after he's okay with all of this and he makes a plan for Comic-Con, she says no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is an easy one.
The top comment on this doesn't weigh in on who the buttface is. Just says your marriage isn't going to last.
Yeah,
No
You're-
kidding.
So
You're-
what surprises me the most about this, because everyone in here seems to be unanimous, is they didn't specify that just the wife was the buttface. The internet as large said that everyone sucks in this scenario, even the writer, which baffles me, to be completely blunt.
I don't. Okay.
Is the current husband is the writer?
Yeah.
Yeah, the current husband that's being left out of the trip.
I mean, he's not very intelligent at this point, but I don't know if he's butt.
I don't think he listened to music in the '90s because he should have saw the sign and opened up his eyes. Come on.
Dad joke?
No, it's not a dad
Oh,
joke. It's a
man.
musical. Josh,
Oh.
Ace
of base.
look, we got another guest. We need to swap you out. Don't dad joke me. All right. But that's a problem. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
you shouldn't have gone to Reddit. The second you asked the question, you knew the answer. It's not about who's a buttface or not. It's about you've got problems in your relationship that is not working.
Yeah. So one of the other comments does allude to that does say that you're the step parent. So maybe in another post he references being a step parent. So apparently my little tidbit there is actually part of the story, but it really doesn't change
Let's-
it much.
What did
Let's.
the kid have to say about it?
Yeah. Well, that would be a very
Yeah, I wonder
interesting
what he thinks.
perspective, getting the kids. But kids are also malleable, and they can be
Look,
they can be spun against their step parent very
Sure.
easily. So regardless,
there is So the way it's written sounds like she took the miles instead of talking to each other and working it out. That's the problem. Let's talk about jealousy a little bit for a second. I've been married to my wife for 24 years. I'm the rock out of podcasting. I've done cool stuff. One of her, not even ex-boyfriends, just some dude she knew in high school, which, by the way, all her stories are dudes she knew in high school. All right. He shows up to deliver Papa John's pizza to us like a year ago. And she's like, oh, yeah, I knew that guy. I'm like, what are you doing ordering pizza from your ex-boyfriend? And that's how we are. So it's like, I'm talking about the good kind of jealousy.
Her ex-boyfriend.
I mean, Joe, would Kelsey Popcorn Ard approve of any of your ex-girlfriends coming around for any reason?
Oh no, she had those removed from my memory. I don't have any ex-girlfriends.
Whoa.
There you go. There you go. Josh, would you tolerate, or would your wife tolerate any of the exes coming around for any reason?
She definitely would not, and I really am not a fan of her talking about Adam Driver. So I just want
Okay,
like, guys, I'm better looking. I mean, right?
Everybody's better looking than that
I know.
driver. I'm just saying.
It's not fair.
The force was not strong with him. No, Idris Elba. I cannot blame my wife for liking Idris Elba. I'm there kind of. But all right. All right. Out here, would anybody tolerate their exes coming around to their loved one and going anywhere with them? No, hell no. That's what we got over here.
There were a whole lot of comments on the thread saying, "You do realize she's cheating on you, right?"
I mean, there's a thing about co-parenting. We all can have a past, but holy crap, that is crazy. That is crazy. So I think we're unanimous. She is cheating on him. There's a divorce that should be happening. And I think one of the reasons that the internet is saying everybody's bad in this, because that line, I took my Switch and stormed out.
Yeah.
There's context that's probably
being
missing, but
immature.
still.
Well,
yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if they got divorced or not, but right then it would have solidified something, and then it would have been a whole nother problem. So yeah, go cool off.
That's the reason I don't think that's the reason I don't think he's a buttface in this, because he's too nice, obviously. Like that's his problem. He needs to find some boundaries, starting with the ex.
Yep.
I mean, holy cow. All right.
That was crazy.
No, that's exactly how this rolls, man. All right, who wants to roll? So for those of you who just came in, you got it? Here we go. We have segments. We've already done 2 segments. They're going to roll the dice, try to hit us. I got you.
I flinched anyway.
And 2.
Two. No, it's good.
No, you're good.
We haven't done 2 yet.
Look, this is not Vegas. This is not Vegas. We're not like you're playing with loaded dice or anything.
All right, so it's Daddy, tell me a story.
Whoa.
Daddy.
What?
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Josh. We may not be your father, but we'll always be your daddy.
So is Daddy telling me a story about rewatching a movie or a TV show from your childhood now as an adult, and possibly realizing that there's some things in there that went way over your head, or maybe it's still as good as you remember, or maybe it's worse. Just tell me a story about
All right.
that.
For the recording, if you have a story to tell, which I'm sure you will, please step up to the microphone so we can have it memorialized forever. All right. So do you have one in mind, Joe?
Oh man. We watched a ton of movies growing up. Like that was one of my dad's love languages, was watching stuff together. And so, I mean, that's not really one of the love languages, but that's how he expressed family time. It was quality time together. And he did that through watching stuff. And we watched so many things that we had taped on TV, and going back and rewatching them, I'm like, oh, this was severely edited for television. And so it's just like they're watching Caddyshack now, or so many rated R movies that on TV it's like, okay, no, that's PG-13. And then going back, I'm like, oh no, that's very rated R. Revenge of the Geeks.
Nerds? Revenge of the Nerds?
Geeks.
Come on, nerd, get it right.
They all get revenge eventually.
Did you ever?
No.
Did you watch it?
On TV.
Okay.
I didn't rewatch.
I looked at it.
So I looked at it. So I use IMDb's Parents Guide a lot,
Same.
and I have learned whenever I want to watch something from my childhood to look it up on there first,
Yeah.
because I guarantee there is stuff that I did not see as
Oh
a
no,
kid,
yeah.
or that
Oh,
went
yeah.
way over my head, and so that is an amazing guide. Before ever showing anything that I remember fondly from my youth to my kids.
So little backstory for Joe, grown up Mormon, holds a lot of lines at home. Then he comes here and goes to see Botched Live Sunday night at 10 p.m., which is Revenge of the Nerds in a live action show just about. So now I get that. The TV parts that got cut out were not for you, sir,
No,
for sure.
No, they were not at all. Well, you were talking about one before we
I
got.
have a million. Because I grew up in a Christian home, so everything was off limits, and everything was also taped off TV. So one was, I have two real quick, Three Fugitives with Nick Nolte and Martin Short. So many F-bombs, so many dirty jokes that didn't make it to TV. And I watched it with Jackson because I wanted to show it to him. And I was like, this is a good movie we can watch together. And that always happens inevitably when you're watching with your kids.
Yeah.
You realize how bad it actually is. You're like, and then I called my dad up and I'm like, Dad, remember Three Fugitives? Oh, I love that movie. That movie was bad. He's like, no, it was fine. I'm like, have you ever seen no, he's never seen it.
No.
He's never seen it. The other one was Firestarter.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I was allowed to watch that. I mean, when what's her name? It was the female lead. She gets stuffed in a closet after somebody kills her, and there's like blood and stuff. I'm like, whoa, how was I allowed to watch that? But there were certain movies like that my parents would like look past certain things, but then there was other things they would never let us watch. Mostly it was TV shows.
Well, and edited for TV isn't really a thing anymore.
No,
at all.
Okay,
no,
coming from the world of edited from TV, growing up in that,
yeah.
Every once in a while, I'm still a little shocked when I turn on something on Hulu or not, Hulu or Netflix or whatever you think. Like Hulu, you think TV, and then all of a sudden you see some language or nudity or graphic violence. Like, oh wait, yeah, this is still streaming. This is not actually TV. Mine was the horrible, horrible, horrible He-Man. I was never allowed to watch He-Man because by the power of Grayskull takes away from the power of God, and you can't do it. Smurfs. For a long time, I wasn't allowed to watch Smurfs because
I think we went to the same church.
Yeah. My favorite one though is Predator. See, my dad loved watching action movies, and my mom hated all of it to the point that she cross-stitched like what you take is what you put out, or evil in, evil out, or something, and put it on top of the TV. So he would go and edit it all. And so the first time I saw Predator, it was really cool. And it was about 45 minutes long. And then when I got older, still not ready. I was still very sheltered, which we'll talk about in another segment. I was very sheltered. And the first scene where the bodies are hanging from the trees and like, oh, a drug cartel must have did it. I was not prepared for that. But there are a few that I've watched with my kids, like you said, and you tackle things from where you come from, right? I've always said everything I do is family friendly as long as you're my family, because I raised my family differently. And there are a few times, especially as my boys have gotten into that preteen and teenage era, like, oh, let's watch this movie, and I forget about the 5-minute long shower scene. And so instead of making it awkward, I'll just pause and go, you need a minute? You need to go, all right, there, cool. All right. Which embarrasses them. But have you done that? Have you come across something like, oh, I forgot?
Well,
That's the thing. Don't make eye contact with my kid right now.
No, but there was something. I don't know if everyone's seen Severance yet, but there was some scenes in that where there was no nudity or actual sex. There was just sounds and looks where they're looking at each other. I was like, we're sitting there watching with the kids. I'm like, this is worse. Like, I wish there was some nudity in this right now, but no, it was worse, and it is very awkward. But also, I'm trying not to make it too weird or react too much.
Yeah.
So I'm like just chilling, like this is nothing, and hoping that they don't make a big deal about it.
Well, see, even as an adult, there were some movies that I've watched. My in-laws are deeply religious, and they had a specialized Blu-ray player that I don't even know how they found it, but
I've heard of these. That the parental controls.
Yeah, where you could download filters onto USB, and you plug it into the DVD or Blu-ray player, and you can apply certain filters. Like you can go in and customize. Okay, take out blasphemy, take out swearing, take out nudity, and it will like as you're watching the actual DVD, it will cut things out.
Does it cut like the scene or just the audio?
It depends on
the filter. Okay,
on the filter, but but even if you remove all of the filters, though, sometimes it would glitch and there would still be filtered sections. Like I remember they were watching the Transformers movie, the first one, and they had cut out all of the filters. So they're like, oh, we don't need any filters for this. And even though they had cut out all of the filters, it still removed the scene where the dog is peeing on Bumblebee. And so it had a bunch of glitches where the scenes were improperly applied to the filters. And so they ended up, because that happened frequently, they ended up being like, okay, well, we just won't watch anything that we think needs to be filtered. So they don't subscribe to it anymore because it was a subscription service as well.
Can you cut the microphone for us though? Yeah. That way everybody for recording everything, we can hear it good.
All right. So at first I thought of one thing, but then as y'all were talking, I thought of the second thing. I'm gonna start with the second one. I would say that would be the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie when Ralph got jumped on the roof. I didn't realize that when I was a kid, but like as I'm older, I'm like, dog, that was bleak as hell. Like, he got fucked up. Like, I just remember the feeling as a kid, like so just like dog, man, that was like, I don't know if I'll let I got two, I'm a girl dad, so I got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. And so I'm like, dog, it's gonna be a few more years before I let them watch that, because that was kind of rough. Yeah. But a few years ago, I was looking at my library and I was like, oh, I ain't read Harry Potter in a minute. So like since I was probably a teenager, and I'm almost 40 now. So I was like, oh, let me reread those. I reread those, and I'm like, dog, even in the first book, I'm like, these kids are idiots. I remember being a kid and be like, oh yeah, everything in them, like, yeah, I understand. And now I'm reading them as an adult with kids. I'm like, dog, tell Dumbledore. It's like, words, dog, like doing something like this is above y'all pay grade.
The Muggles had to see something, say something, sign. Come on.
But like just reading as an adult, rereading those, I'm like, and then book 5, I'm sorry. As a kid, I got it when it came out. I'm like, Harry's the man. Yeah, I understand him. As an adult, I'm like, this little prick is an asshole. The whole book 5, like, he's an asshole, the whole thing. So it's like, okay, I'm going to have to watch, when I give to my kids how old they are and talk to them about it before I let them read that one, just for that part.
See, that's why I love different scenes in the MCU and Don Cheadle's War Machine. Just like, Cap, you couldn't have just jumped out of the plane? Like just little fourth wall breaking and stuff like that. Like just calling them out on like, couldn't you just done that just a little bit differently and it would have solved everything?
Now, what about things that were of the time, right? So I will always love and stand on how awesome Martin was. And I try to introduce my teenagers to Martin, and as they're watching it, their heads are like, "What?" And like, okay, I have to keep stopping the show and explaining what was going on culturally at the time. So I finally just gave up. It's like, it's one of those you just had to be there moment.
Yeah, we tried that recently. One I really loved when I was a kid was the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I still loved it, but they were like, this is not really funny to us. And I'm like, oh, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
I just thought of one more that I wanted to mention real quick. When you mentioned the Wayans brothers, it made me think of Blank Man. And I absolutely loved Blank Man. But there is a lot that's inappropriate in there that went way over my head when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, it's still a fantastic movie. Not one I want to watch, let my kids watch anytime soon, but still a wonderful movie.
Hey, Kaz, can you grab the door and shut it, please? Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, real quick, just a small anecdote. So I'm I guess a mid to late millennial. So, I grew up with like the early DreamWorks movies.
Okay.
Going back and watching like B-movie now or like Megamind, those are like some horny ass movies, and it's just like, as a kid, you're like, oh, okay, cool, like, superheroes, oh, a bee that talk, that's awesome. And then, watching it now, you're like, why are they talking about this, like, disguised sex, like all this stuff, now, and it's just a little weird. But Yeah, that's my little anecdote.
Yeah, the little innuendos that as a kid they always went over
The
your head.
best
It's just
one though is Toy Story 2, where the horse's saddle falls off and it like protects itself. It's hilarious.
And I wonder if everybody here is old enough to have seen the Transformers animated movie. Anybody?
The 80s?
Yes, in the 80s.
Too soon, man.
Where,
Too soon.
As a marketing tactic to get kids to buy new toys, they decided we're going to make a movie in which all your toys and all your favorite characters are killed right in front of you.
Right in
So
front of
need
you.
Optimus Prime, and this was just not even an idea that one person had, but that got through filter after filter after filter until it was finally this movie. Which, by the way, I love the movie. But nothing even close to that would ever happen. That they were like, we're going to kill all your children's favorite characters in the theater right in front of you.
In fact, it's gone the other way. You don't leave anybody dead if they kill somebody. But yeah, who doesn't remember? You got the power.
I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, my son, I watched a movie with him. He's 18 now. So I'm like, okay, watch this movie. The Ringer. And he sat there and he laughed. And he said, "I feel inappropriate laughing at this movie."
Yep.
But as he went through, he kind of got it, right. I mean, they really do what they do. Another one, Monty Python: The Meaning of Life.
Okay, yeah.
So a friend of ours, they're from England, and he said, "I'm gonna watch this with my daughter," and he watched it. He said, oh, I forgot. The beginning, all that, and he stopped and said, "What do you think?" He said, "I'm scarred, Father."
I'm scarred, Father.
The Ringer still has one of my favorite F-bombs from a PG-13 movie. When
But-
the F did we get ice cream?
But what I loved a lot about the movie. But even at the time it came out, there are protests and how dare you. It's like, and the disabled community that was part, I think it's Down syndrome and some other communities that are part of that movie. They're all actors who have those things. They didn't just take people and make them act, except for the one guy who dropped the F-bomb. And they even had to stand up and say, we finally get to see ourselves represented in a way we like. And it's even today, yeah.
So, hello everyone. To your point, I tried to read Harry Potter to my daughter and I stopped myself. No.
All right, which ones? Never mind, I won't say it.
But I guess the two movies from my childhood that I would not let my daughter watch would be Rocky, the first one, because he would not let. This might ruin a lot of people's idea, but he would not let Adrian leave until she gave him a kiss.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
In order to see that,
That was a cringe scene.
It's a product of the times that shouldn't have been. Yep.
and Coming to America.
Okay, I wouldn't let his daughter watch that either.
My daughter is 10, and you remember the sister and Dean were sitting there. They were watching the basketball game. She put her hand up under and yes,
Yeah.
no. And I made a mistake last year. I was watching Blue Eye Samurai with my daughter because we love anime.
Okay, all right.
I had to turn it off.
10. She's
She was
10.
9. I didn't know because I didn't know.
Well, there's this thing on Crunchyroll. It says 16 plus. 18. Yeah, all right.
Look, all I did. See, this is what I do. I tell myself, because I'm an author, so I'm writing and I'm like, look, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna watch something new. I'm like Netflix, Blue Eye Samurai. This looks awesome. My daughter's sitting there, Daddy, what am I about to watch? This. And I played it, and I was like, hey, go downstairs with your mama.
Wait, that's such a good dad moment. I'm not stopping watching it. You go outside. We're gonna keep on going. All right. Time to roll. Who wants to roll?
Uh-oh.
Can I approach the talent, please?
Yeah.
You can approach the talent, sir.
You've got a bag there. It doesn't. What's in the bag?
What's in the box?
Oh. What is in the bag?
I hope it's alcohol because he won't drink it. He'll give it to me.
Let's find out. It's several things, apparently. Uh-oh. It's all. Ooh.
Okay, don't.
Yeah.
That's a big wooden dice.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna play with your dice for a second.
Hey,
That's
hey.
going to show up good on camera for the
Yeah,
regular show.
look
Hey,
at that. Look
I'm
at
going to take a
those.
moment.
Those are nice.
Linktree/wise_and_nerdy. Sign up. We do this every week. Follow us on YouTube. We put out clips on YouTube and TikTok. But so we have Joe actually specifically has a camera that when he rolls the dice, it pans down to it. Those are going to look great.
Those are awesome.
Thank you, Diva.
Uh-oh.
Well-
Uh-oh. There's an encore.
If it's for Josh, no, you can't. Because I want to.
Damn it.
Well, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
Uh-oh.
I got the pretty ribbon on mine. I don't know what it says about
it's
it.
my
got-
wife wouldn't let me bring that unless it was properly wrapped.
It's got
Hey,
that
okay, to all the
turquoise,
dads,
tiger print.
It
right?
would have been in a plastic bag.
Right?
Wrapped.
Right?
I would have at least put a bow on.
You know, I mean, my wife's always like that. If I'm gonna when she forces me to wrap, I'll go get like comic book paper or something, like the old funnies from the
It would have been
newspaper.
Christmas paper or something.
And when she got on to me, she's like, "Why would you do that?" Everybody did it for her, loved it. It's like because all you're gonna do is this,
Right,
rip
right.
it apart and let's go.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but what is it?
what is
What? I don't know what
It
that
looks
is.
like- There you go. Hold that for me. I think I know what this is. I get
Oh.
to smack some things around.
Uh-oh. Is it a build your own?
Oh, look at that.
So,
We've got a gavel
Ah.
for the Parliament of Papas. We can
Or Joe,
judge
Joe,
with authority.
out of order, Joe. Out of order.
You're breaking
Nope.
it.
Stop.
You've
Out of
already
order.
cracked it.
Out of order. It's just a mark. It's not a crack. Thank you, Devo. It's beautiful.
I know you were wanting one.
Yes. Does it again? Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Nice try. 3.
I wasn't even afraid
All right.
for half a second.
This is this is a great segue from what we were just talking about. How do I overcome my sheltered upbringing?
Ooh. All right.
Oh,
All right. By show of hands, who's had a sheltered upbringing? Oh, okay. Who had parents that exposed you to stuff you didn't think you should have seen? Oh, okay. So we're the opposite of that.
I had a little bit of both. So it depended on which parent you're talking about, because
Okay, all right.
my dad, he showed me all kinds of horror films, and he took me to all kinds of fun stuff. So my dad, he was big into NASCAR, and he had a race car, and so we would go there. We went to boat races, some hydroplane races, and I was actually telling Devo last night about this, where they were trying to make it more family friendly, the boat races, but they weren't fully there yet. And I remember sitting in the bleachers.
Do they have all their clothes on?
Not this lady.
Okay.
And he was like, "Don't turn around." I'm like, "What are you talking? Don't turn around." I'm probably
Isn't
like,
that the first thing you
and that's
do?
like- it's like I'm a kid. That's the first thing I didn't end up seeing anything, but I other than bare shoulder. But yeah, no, this lady was had a semicircle of guys around her, and she was dancing. And so, but on the flip side, my mom, ultra conservative. Like I brought home a Magic the Gathering land card that I had found on the ground. Okay.
Yeah.
And I showed it to her. I'm like, "Oh, isn't this cool artwork?" And she's like, she grabs it from me. She's like, "This is of the devil," and throws it away. She didn't even want me playing any kind of card games with playing cards.
Uh-huh.
And
Why?
like
What was the reasoning?
We're not supposed to do that. It's all gambling. And I'm like, "Mom, we're just playing, spades or something."
So it's been the
no,
same
it's
reason.
all gambling.
Right. Okay. The same
All of
reason my parents. It says it because it says poker cards on
Yeah.
the pack.
Well, and I remember I went
Yeah.
on a trip with my dad, because back then, if you were under a certain, well, I think even still, if you're under a certain age, you can fly for free. And my dad was going to visit his family, and one of the stewardesses gave me a deck of cards. And when I came home, that deck of cards immediately disappeared.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, she was ultra conservative. My dad was on the other end. And so I got a weird blend of both sheltered and unsheltered moments.
For reference, we call his dad Papa NASCAR because of all the reference his dad cheated at NASCAR, was a little NASCAR driver, cheated at it.
Well, he wasn't the driver. He built the car.
He was
but yes.
Harley revving guy leaving church. I mean, he was. Your dad was something else.
Yeah, no. On his Harley, he would drive by parked cars and rev it just to see if he could set off the car alarms with the vibrations.
All right, so Josh, what's your shelter? Okay, so Joe, how have you overcome that?
So mostly I didn't listen to my mom. But, my dad ended up passing away when I was 16, and so I would butt heads with my mom after that, even more so. But she wasn't in a mental state to have those fights at that point. And me being an ignoramus teenager, I didn't understand the depths of the emotional toll that was going through her mind. And so all I saw as a selfish teenager was, oh, I'm getting my way a lot more often now. And so I ended up coming out of that shelter from my mom because my mom stopped fighting because she was dealing with her own grief and her own loss. So
follow that, Josh.
That's tough. So yeah, I came from a very sheltered home. Went to a Pentecostal church, and everything was off limits. I thought everything I did was going to make me go to hell instantly, including swearing. I remember one time specifically I was watching, boys, you've never heard this, so cover yours if you want, but I was watching something on a scrambled channel. And my mom knocked on the door, and so I had to decide whether I wanted to tell her about that or tell her about the TLC CD I had in my drawer. So I gave up the TLC CD. That was that. So it was Crazy Sexy Cool, and I never got another one. But swearing was the big thing in my house, and that was like the worst sin in the world, and you're going to hell if you swear and everything. And when my kids were born and they were growing up, and they're obviously still growing up, but swearing is not completely off limits in our house. We're trying to teach them the right way and context and who you're around and when to do it and when not to do it. The big thing for me is when you're fighting and arguing, don't use swear words. I know that seems counterintuitive because you want to use swear words, but that's what makes it worse because you're trying to escalate it by using those words. But if you stub your toe, throwing a good F-bomb makes it feel better.
See, with my kids, we tell them if you don't know what it means, you shouldn't be saying it. And we've said that too. We've said that for a long time, but even with us repeating that over and over, we had a recent one just about a month or two back, where my son, my 11-year-old boy, he was rhyming with words, and so he was saying a bunch of stuff that he didn't know the meaning of.
What does it rhyme with?
Digger.
Oh no!
And we immediately
that was with
were
the
like,
hard D.
We were like, yeah, no, you do not say that ever. And so, but he's repeated different things, and my other boy has said different slang words, and we're like, do you know what that means? Oh, it means they've got a big butt. I'm like, that's how people use it, but do you know what it actually means? And so we try to take it as an opportunity to teach them, and teach them not only what it means, but also why we don't say it. Because we can't, coming from a partially sheltered a lifestyle.
You went full shelter.
We don't, no. We try not to shelter them, but we also try to teach them why I would have been sheltered. If that makes sense.
I'm always curious if Papa NASCAR had been alive when you had kids, how the grandpa NASCAR would have worked out there. With my kids, I've taught them time and place, because I know my wife. So we were having our first child. I have 4. When we were having our first child, she's like, did the whole mom thing. We gotta clean up our language. I was like, yeah, that's not. I'm a paramedic. That is not gonna fly. I'll try to honor your wishes. So the first cuss word he repeated came from her. And I was like, ooh. So about trying to teach him time and place. And when I kick something, there's a lot of 4-letter words that go into that. Even though I try not to say them, it's coming out of me. And he was maybe 2. and somebody bought them this big metal fire truck, and he didn't see it, and he kicked it, and very slowly, like the day before, I'd done something and put my head, I'll put my head against the wall to keep from punching something, and I'll cuss at it. And his little 2-year-old kicked it and went over to the wall, put his head here, goes, he starts saying it. I'm like, I just don't do that at Mimi's house. You be okay. Sheltered. All right. So I talked about Smurfs. I talked about He-Man. I mean, no explanations of anything. And we're watching Back to the Future. And in the first 5 minutes of Back to the Future, he yells, and we try to keep it PG-13. He yells, "You B word." Normally I wouldn't say that, but it's daytime at Dragon Con. And I'm like, what does that mean? And just never say it. Never. It just kills you. So then I'm out on some school field trip, and somebody had graffitied the school with the P word for ladies. And I just read it off the wall because I know that's a little kitten, right? It's a little cat. And the trouble I got into, and I still did not know why I'm getting yelled at. And it was so crazy. So I probably overcompensated and taught my kids things that I for everybody who raised their hands, like I've been exposed to things I shouldn't have been. That's my kids raising their hands probably, because I've tried to explain so much. And there was a moment when my son was in public school. We had ultimately pulled all of our kids out to do homeschool. But there's a moment when he's in public school and he came out like, "Oh, here's the thing they need you to sign so I can go to the DARE class." I'm like, all right, let's have a real talk before I sign this. Because there's things you might see around in the world that are just not that hardcore. Because I think DARE is much like church. It is very no explanation, overbearing. And so I taught him that drugs are really expensive is what it stands for. And he got to go repeat that at the class. So I was very proud. So I would like to hear if someone wants to share what's something you were exposed to as a kid that you shouldn't have been. Come on up. Yeah, let's get a lot too. Gotcha.
So I went and saw 8 Mile in theaters.
How old?
13.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a little young.
With my mom.
Okay.
She took me and bought an M&M CD for me.
So she did that on purpose.
Yes.
How are you today, sir?
I'm much more conservative in terms of what my kids consume.
See, I get that. I'm kind of hoping my kids do the same thing. If I push them a little too far, they'll come back.
You're pushing them so far past that they're gonna bring it back in a little bit.
Because we make jokes about how I am now, but nobody here knew me when I was 18, and it was very much coming out of that. I mean, I exploded out of the depression that I had. So yeah, I don't want that.
So my parents were never like real straight, and we had like the primal plot, you know, that stuff. But the one thing, my mother, she cursed. Like my father don't curse. My mother does, so I curse too. So when I was in high school, this girl, she got mad with me because I asked her can I have something as simple as a pencil? I said, borrowed a pencil from me the day before. So I asked her, like, can I have a pencil back? Why you want to? So then we started calling each other, not the B word, but it was another word.
Okay.
And so I thought the teacher was going to put us out. So I told my mom, I said, teacher might call you because I called this girl a certain word. And she's like, where did you learn that word? I said,
where did you learn that word? I quote that 80s drug commercial. Where did you get these? I got it from you, Dad.
I learned it by watching you.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, never used that word before. H.
Sure.
But she's like, oh my God, where did you learn that word from? I was like,
school.
Yeah.
So that wasn't
makes me
so you
think
didn't learn it from your mom. You learned it from school.
See, that makes me
Okay.
think of A Christmas Story. Where did you learn that word? From a classmate, even though he learned it from his dad. And then you hear the mom beating the son. What did I do, Mom? What did I do?
All right, so my dad was my youth minister growing up. And so when I was 15, I went to a garage sale. And in this garage sale, he just had his building open. He said, if you find something you want, bring it to me. Well, I found X-rated movies. So I took it and I put it in a different box from a different movie that was there. And so then when I got home, I had to figure out how to hide this from my dad. So I took the least watched movie in our house, which was Gremlins.
Okay, yeah.
I opened that up. I opened up the X-rated and I swapped the reel into Gremlins. And so then I just kept that in my room. So there was a really awkward moment in our house when my mom wanted to watch Gremlins one night, and I had to go get real mad and just break Gremlins for no reason.
No, I'm not watching that. It gives me nightmares. Oh, I couldn't watch Scooby-Doo because apparently it gave me nightmares. I guess nobody explained to me that the mask had real people in it. I don't know.
Oh man, yeah. There were a bunch of different times where my mom, because she would never explain. And in hindsight, I'm like, oh no, that's satanic panic stuff. Like she,
oh god, yeah.
My sister was dating one of the youth pastors in our church, and he wanted to play D&D with us. So this is coming from a church member, and my mom was initially like, no, you can't play D&D. You can't play. And so we finally, she gave up and let us play. But I think it was mostly because it was my sister's boyfriend who was also part of our church, and so she allowed it. I don't know if she ever actually altered her conception of it, if she ever actually accepted D&D. I do remember her having a conversation with me before our first session saying, if anything feels weird, just let me know. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, Mom.
So my dad was a Southern Baptist preacher, so you're the devil Pentecostal. And he big, huge binder that was satanic panic and couldn't touch any of that stuff. But then Marvel came out with their own rules based off of D&D. I got to play that all day long. It's the same thing. Anyway.
So Kaz wanted to mention that she got exposed to way too many Stephen King novels when she was
yeah.
by her own efforts, but it was still
well, is it Stand By Me? Was the Stephen King movie where they find the dead body? Yeah, I watched that one. Even on TV, that you're not ready for that when you're 8 years old.
Yeah. My dad actually was really loved, took me to a lot of really good movies, but also took me to a lot of movies that I probably shouldn't have been going to at the time. When I was about, I think, 5 or 6 years old, they did one of the first kind of like re-releases of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, I need to go. I literally, first grader,
No, 5, 6 years old.
5 or 6 years old. It was G-rated.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and I still that with the monkeys and all that, man, that was just, I was already just like, Dad.
My bigger question is, does Siri still freak you out because you think you're Hal?
Oh no. Well, I don't. I know that Daisy song. When he's getting shut off.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many parts of that movie that are just absolutely. And actually, one of the things that also freaked me out. Have you ever seen the actual preview for The Shining? The movie.
Not the preview. Yeah, no.
It was just the elevator doors opening. An unrated, a all audiences, preview, and that's.
Oof.
I was like watching Popeye or something. The theater. I was like, no, that's not nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
So my mom was really religious, and my dad was just a little bit.
Religious.
But yeah. But my memory goes back to Robocop. That's
So I watched that one off of TV.
So exactly.
Yeah.
But then you watch like the actual version of it. And here's the thing, it had a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh yeah, right.
It had cereal, it had
we had the toys.
Yeah. So it got to a point where I realized I realize now as an adult I shouldn't have been watching that. But that was sort of me and my dad's sort of thing.
Yeah.
So mom's away, mom's asleep. I'm watching Rambo. I'm watching Predator, Terminator. So stuff with my dad now. And granted, my son now is only 6 months old. So I have to figure out what I want to do. I think I turned out okay. So
hey, you came to this panel. You must be all right.
Yeah. So I don't know if RoboCop will be that, but I just remember RoboCop being right. I just remember RoboCop being that thing that I was like, I love this movie. I love action movies. My dad bought me a toy of it. How bad could this be?
So I'm not sure where I'm gonna lead with my son, but we'll see down the road. But yeah, my love of action movies came from my dad.
I hear you.
That was just our thing.
I think at the end of the day, we all do the best we can as humans, as parents, and we correct from what we think was a mistake in our childhood and try to do the best we can. And then you got to realize in yourself, you turned out okay. You know, you're not blasting some cop with 1,000 bullets who becomes a robot to see what happens. It's all right.
One of my main goals is to avoid therapy costs with my kids. That's
not
that's
mine.
my parenting style.
Not mine. Mine is like, I'll either pay for college or therapy. You got to choose.
Hold on. Jackson, what's your favorite show?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
It seemed like he could handle it.
I have come around where my kids are watching something like Breaking Bad, and they're at the time maybe 10 or 11. I'm like, all right, if you see anything you got questions about, come talk to me. And if it's on TV, it's not real. That's the rule.
All right. I'm sorry. I gotta get this off first.
Come on,
ma'am. I don't know if you understand this or not, but I have to say first thing first. Mustard.
You got it. Somebody recognized you. That's exactly where she's at.
I had to. I'm sorry. But I just want to share a little bit of wisdom, honestly, that I've got in my journey as being a father, honestly, with as far as that goes, as far as being sheltered and raising your kids. And one thing that I learned, and I shared with my wife, I really believe in treating my daughters as individual human beings. And that even though I may have a belief system, your belief system, or whatever, how you want to live your life may be different. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm only responsible for my life. You know what I'm saying? I want to give you wisdom as much as I can, you know what I'm saying, and the way to make good decisions as much as I can, but you got to live with what you make. You know what I'm saying? So I want them to be comfortable with their decisions and their wisdoms that they make. So I share what I believe with them, but at the same time, look, you got to do your own thing. You got to live your own life. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the exposure thing, you know what I'm saying? I try to get ahead of it. You know what I'm saying? All right, look, we're going to watch this thing, but this is what I believe on. You may believe something different, and that's okay. But I just want to let you understand, the concept of having your own opinion. You know what I'm saying about things. And I think
give them some agency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give to your kids. Because a lot of times as parents, it's easy to give oh no, this is right, this is wrong to your kid. But it's dog, that may be to you, but they're their own individual person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to give them that same respect that you give somebody else, because they're going to be a human being just like you. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So that's the wisdom I have in it. That I just wanted to share to this whole panel, whoever's listening.
I think this is your chair right here. You sat in the
wrong
wrong place, man.
I don't know about that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, and what that does is it teaches them to think for themselves, and it teaches them quality skills to avoid peer pressure, especially as teenagers and young adults. So yeah.
Well, these guys have heard this before, but my parents wanted to go see Jaws. And I'm a little, I don't know, 6-7-year-old boy sitting there.
Oh,
Jaws in the theater.
Yeah.
And they're hauling me along, and I'm sitting there watching this shark, and and then the boat's upside down, and then the guy and the body comes out, and I jump. Oh my God! And I had nightmares for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, so my dad, same way, we talked about this, loved the horror movies. I don't know why. And he had no problem. And then he wanted to go see this movie. So I'm from Missouri. There's a little town called Fayette. Small little, it's small movie. And we go in there, and he wants to go watch this movie called Squirm. Movie, terrible movie. But when you're a little kid, you got that big screen, and all these worms are coming
Nathan Fillion, right?
Huh?
Nathan Fillion's in that one.
All I know.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
And so I'm sitting here, and this is so in Fayette has a very high population of black folk. And
Okay.
there was a high population of black folks in that theater. And the moment that screen filled up, these boys came running out. Of course, I'm like, should we run with them?
you don't ask, you run and ask later. Come on.
No. I think this kid run out because they were sitting right there. But
yeah,
I don't know why. But again, my son was interested. He liked that stuff. He's grown up. And he's okay. I'm okay.
And
Maybe for
we're
a while
all okay.
wasn't, but
All right. So as we wrap up, because a lot of this comes out of fear. They teach us fear. Our parents, they don't mean to. They're trying to protect us, but in protecting us, they teach us fear. So Joe's, we're going down to what's one thing you do to teach the opposite of fear? Courage, faith in yourself, whatever. To not work. What do you do to teach your kids that?
I'm gonna go with a story. So my middle child for a long time suffered from nightmares, and so the advice that I gave him is that to try during his dreams and his nightmares to try to put his hand in front of his face in the dream. And I was trying to teach him to have some semblance of control, to have some lucid dreaming. And then I after he got to that point, I told him, okay, well, now you can control what happens. You can give yourself a bazooka and take out whatever monster is in your dream. And he still has nightmares every now and again, but they have severely decreased in number. And he no longer wakes us up in the middle of the night.
Show him the documentary Major Pain, and that'll help you out there. Josh,
I'll just shoot his closet. It'll be okay.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a great movie. So as they were growing up, and they always just seemed to things I thought they would be afraid of, they weren't afraid of, but I was afraid of when I was younger, and they just seemed to have way more. I think it was just the way I was raised. My mom was afraid of everything, even when it came to driving. Like, she would always say things like, "Don't pull in front of a car too quickly because the car might just stall out in the middle of the road." And I was like, can that happen? So I was afraid of driving and things like that. And I haven't instilled that fear in them that it was instilled in me. I think it's something a little bit that's taught. So I've just been kind of watching them in awe of how they've been growing up and doing things like being way cooler guys than I am already. You know what I'm saying? They're just.
And that's our goal.
Badass, yeah.
Our goal as parents is to damage them a little bit less than we got damaged.
Yeah.
I think. I've done two things with my kids, like the TV thing. Somebody else told me this one, and I just latched onto it. But hey, teach your kids, if it's on TV, it's not real. And I can talk to you about anything, but most everything is not real, and that helps out. The other thing, when I try to bring healthy things into their lives early on, and I think Doctor Who's a pretty healthy, happy, positive. Usually he always wins kind of deal. And other than the what is the oncoming storm storyline where he is the oncoming storm, she had a TARDIS that she could hug and it did all the noise. So one or two nights in a row, she's waking me up in the middle of the night. I had a bad dream. That took her in there because I don't want to get out of bed and deal with this. So I said, hey, the doctor always wins, right? She's like, yes. I said, here's your doctor. Here's your TARDIS. When you wake up, just hold on to it. Never had another nightmare. Never had another one. So you try to teach that, latching on to something like the hands and the modeling the behavior, sounds like, where you just don't teach fear. That's the first step. Stop teaching fear and everything else will fall into place. All right. Josh, where can they find you?
The easiest way to find us is uploadsofun.com/stuff. You'll find that's our link tree, and you'll find everything there that you want to find or don't want to find. And the good thing is everything we're talking about here, teaching our kids, I basically taught it to them and put it online. So, so you can watch all the awkward moments.
If you would, Wise and Nerdy is a weekly show that Joe and I do together, and we have guests on sometimes to talk about everything we talked about today and then a little bit more. And we change it up every week. And the show is never the same because we always roll the dice to see what order we're going to go in. So please go to Linktree right here, Linktree, linktr.ee/wise_n_nerdy, and follow us on your platform of choice. Joe, do you have a Linktree for yourself?
Well, I do, but okay. I'm just saying, I know you hate those underscores, but I love them.
You do embrace the underscore.
Embrace the underscore.
It's a lot of.
But yeah, my Linktree is just Joseph_Ard.
And of course it is. And mine's a Linktree, or you can look me up. Rock Got a Podcasting, but it's RGOP42, and it's everything that I do. So not everything I do is as family friendly as Wise and Nerdy. It's like PG-13. So just know what you're getting into. Thank you for coming out, and let's all further recording. Yeah. Class adjourned. It is.